Okay. So Jake graduated in 2015?
Yep.
Right? And I'll let him talk about his background a little bit, but works for the Pacers now in their business analytics side. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So, yeah, I graduated in 2015 from NKU. I was an economics major, but sports business minor, so I was able to have Dr. Cobbs for a couple classes, including Moneyball in the inaugural semester.
Yeah, you were in the first class, right?
Yep, that's before the draft got all fancy and went to the digitorium, so we were in his class. But yeah, so when I started in KU, I knew I wanted to work in sports, and I knew I wanted to do something with numbers. Around the time that I always tell the story about when I started at NKU, Moneyball came out, and I was like obsessed with Moneyball, and they read the book, right?
Yeah, we're in the process now. We're just finishing it up today,
Cool.
actually.
So a lot better than me because I watched the movie first and then read it in his class because he made me. But so I wanted to be Jonah Hill, and I wanted to reference Jonah Hill. Yes, I know it's not his real name, but I watched the movie, so. And I wanted to.
Podesta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who I actually saw speak, and he's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's Sloan?
Yeah, it's Sloan. Yeah. So yeah, so I wanted to find the best prospects out there, and then find how much they wanted to be paid and everything. And then the more and more I got into the business world and economics, I realized that I want to maybe move away from operations and maybe move more in towards business side. So business analytics became kind of the thought process. Spring semester 2015, I was looking for a job, like probably most of you will be at some point, and I didn't really know where I was going to end up. I was on Teamwork Online. If you don't have an account and you want to work in sports, definitely make a Teamwork Online account. So I saw a job posting for the Indiana Pacers come up, and it said sales and marketing analyst. I was like, okay, well, I like sales, and I like marketing a lot, and I want to be an analyst, so it's perfect. So I applied and went through like the process, the interview process, and it was offered to me in like June-ish. I started June of last year, so I've been there for a year and a half. Before I was there, they didn't have an analytics department, so when I came in, they entrusted their whole department to be formed around a 22-year-old recent college grad. I don't understand why, but we got to that point, and we've done a lot of good work. We're the 27th team to actually have an analytics department, and usually theirs are about, I think the average is like 3.4 people per department. We have one, and we just hired a second one, so now we're at like 1.1 because he's in the middle of training. So what I do is I go over sales and marketing trends, run analysis on both of those. So any new business that we bring in, I run analysis on. Any marketing campaigns that we send out, I run analysis on. And then any ways to form new business, I kind of just put in place to happen. Yeah.
And you do pricing analysis too,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, so I do pricing analysis, game ranks, lead scoring, a lot of other reporting on secondary market trends, all that.
So tell them a little bit about lead scoring. That might be a good way to personalize or make it analysts real to them. You know, how does it work? What does it mean?
Okay, so in the last class, we talked about a little bit about like the sales process and how it used to be versus what it's evolving to. And this is really in any industry. There's companies that do lead scoring, but we want to have our own lead scoring process. Basically, we don't want to farm it out to another company. So lead scoring is finding the right person to buy your product. So you're not like wasting time hitting people who are never going to buy, basically. So the sales adage that everyone always talks about really is like you're going to hit 3 out of 100 people with a product that you're going to sell to, I think, and it's like usually between 1 and 3. We did an analysis that found out that we were hitting that of the 100 people, if we called 100 people, 1 person was buying, and sometimes it wasn't even that, which is an extremely large amount of time wasted. And just like whenever you pick up a phone and call someone, think of how many minutes it takes you to like get your point across, tell them who you are, get your point across, and then see if they have any gauge of an interest in what you're trying to sell. Okay, so that times 100 is how much time we were basically wasting. So we took, from that analysis, we developed a lead scoring model with the NBA that identified buyers based on a score. We call it like the FICO score. You have a FICO score for your credit card that signals to lenders that you're a good buyer, or that you're a good payer, I guess. So we developed a FICO score that we tag all of our prospects with. So if we're wanting to run a marketing campaign for 5-game holiday packs, we might target buyers from like that have an 800 to 1100 FICO score, because those people buy 5-game plans. And that's like, we don't see any movement 1 through 700. 800 is like the first initial like curve, I guess. That makes sense. So we want to target 8 to 1100. If you don't fall between those, we're probably not going to send or call you at all, because we don't want to waste that. You know, if you're not going to buy it, then we'd rather warm you up with marketing. So we're going to take, if we have 100 people that we want to send out to, and only 20 of them fall between 8 and 1100, we'll call those 20, but we'll butter the other 800 up with like marketing campaigns, or hey, come out to our event, or hey, did you see what Paul George did at the mini golf course? You know, just to like get them acclimated to the Pacers culture.
So give them an example of something that might move somebody's lead score up, you know, like if I followed the Pacers on Twitter, would that move my score, or? So
that's more advanced. That's what we're trying to get to, because there's different products out there that'll allow you to track who they follow. If they follow the Pacers on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or Vine, if you ever use that anymore. So if that signals that they have a connection with us. You know, they're interested in what we're doing, and they want to see more of it, which then signals like, hey, they have an interest in us, so maybe we can buy. You know, maybe they can buy from us. So right now, what will move your FICO score up is how many games you come out to. The games that you do come out to, how much money are you spending? Are you coming to 5 games but you're sitting in the balcony for $10 a pop? That's not going to have as much weight as someone who comes to like 2 games and they're sitting like row 17, $104 a pop. You know what I mean? So how many games you come out to, how much money you're spending with us, and then if you buy anything from our online store, if you subscribe to like Pacers Insider, which is like, if you guys know what ESPN Insider is, it's like the need to know now. You know, hey, Paul's going to be at Kroger signing autographs. Come out and see him. But yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense? You guys understand what he's talking about with lead scoring? Yeah.
It's league wide right now, so unfortunately we were a little late to the bowl, but we're it's definitely been a great addition for us. So
we've talked a lot, or maybe not a lot, but we've spent some time talking about ticket pricing, like dynamic pricing versus variable, and like I know you guys or you helped develop that model. Can you talk a little bit about how that model works or what you have to do to figure that out?
Yeah, definitely. So we have 2 types of buyers, really. So if you're a season ticket holder, you're either a new buyer or you're renewed. And if you're a renewed buyer, shows a little bit of loyalty towards us, so we're going to have your price lower than anyone else's, really. So we have, let's just take the full season ticket holders, okay? So we have 2 different types of season pricing for full season ticket holders, new and renewed. Okay, renewed will always be less than new, and that's kind of the variable standpoint. So you can pay more the first year than you did the second year just because you've renewed with us and you're a loyalty level, so your price will drop. Okay, and then we have, I'm trying to think how to explain this. So We have the full plans, half-season plans, and mini plans. We'll develop our individual game pricing off our highest price plan, which is going to be your new, because they're not renewed, right? So it's going to be your new customer mini plan, because they're not buying in bulk as much. So you buy in bulk, cheaper it is, right? So the most expensive product that we have is going to be a mini plan for a new season ticket holder. And that's, we'll say that that's like $120 a game for price code E, okay, which is like lower level. So $120 price code E. It'll start right there for our individual game basis. So like for whatever game it is, it'll be $120 for that, and then it'll range dynamically depending on who we're playing. So that $120 ticket might be, it might be $70 for Orlando, and it might be $220 for Golden State. Just because like it's a higher demand game, we want to charge a higher price. Lower demand game, we want to charge a lower demand price. And like for, so I'll tell you, give this to show like maybe the magnitude of our arena. We seat 18,000 roughly in our arena. Golden State was like 17,900. Like it was packed, everything. Orlando was at 9, so half the arena was packed. So it kind of like tells you the magnitude of the NBA. Yeah, so our pricing can change on a daily basis. Last season, we had the Lakers come to town every year, once a year. And it was right around the time everybody was like, hey, Kobe might retire this year, but probably not, he's gonna play forever. And our market hasn't really responded to the Lakers as much as they used to. So we labeled that as a middle of the road game. It was gonna be an average game. Your price for that price code was probably $100. And then he announced his retirement while we were out there in LA playing them. So it's like December 5th, I think we were playing at Staples Center. He announced it, and sales went like through the roof for that game. We sold like 7,000 seats for individual games, which is like unheard of. So it's that day we got on to like our software that we use for dynamically pricing, and we basically doubled the price just because we were able to capitalize on so much more revenue.
How much time was it until they were coming to Indianapolis?
Oh,
So like a couple
3 months.
Okay.
3 months. February 1st, I believe. February 8th, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So and we sold out like 5 days later, just because people were buying. Because it was the last time to see Kobe Bryant play. So does that answer that question?
And then talk about Kevin Durant too, and how that changed the Oklahoma City game.
So as I mentioned, like there's different magnitudes of games with Orlando and then Golden State, right? So it's a very player-driven league. I would say more so than like the NFL or MLB, and especially our market. Our market is very, very, very player-driven. So people are just gonna like basically flock to see LeBron play, KD, Steph Curry. Really any other big name, even Karl Towns, like people will come out to see that, to see him with him growing. But so when we go to our pricing and everything, that is a major player for increasing and setting prices, and that allows us to see like, okay, Orlando, it doesn't really have anyone that our market responds to. So that's going to be a lower tier game, whereas Golden State, we obviously know that they have Steph Curry and Draymond Green and everything, so that's going to be up here. Last year, we were blessed enough to have KD still in Oklahoma City, and that game was like the 4th best game of the year. It was great, sell out, all that. So when KD announced over the summer that he was looking for teams, and he was interviewing with like the Lakers and Clippers or something, and like so many other teams, were like, okay, I really want him to come to the East, because that means, selfishly speaking, because I'm on the business side, not basketball ops, I want him to come to the East because that means it's going to draw more people. So if he came to Milwaukee, all right, so Milwaukee's not really a sell for us. So if he was to come from Oklahoma City, who we play one time, to Milwaukee, he would increase. It would be a sellout every time, just because our market responds to him dramatically. And then he was like, oh, okay, well, I'm interviewing with a lot of West teams. We're like, oh my God, please just don't go to Golden State. I don't want you to go to Golden State, because that was already a sellout. Our arena seats 18,000. if it's a sellout, like we can't sell any more tickets. You know, that's not going to increase anything. So we're like, all right, he's coming to the west. He's going to the west. Go to Phoenix. Go to Sacramento or something like that. So maybe we can capitalize on increased ticket sales there. Sure enough, he goes to Golden State. So like, not only do we have very marginal gain, like so little gain from him going to Golden State, we have a dramatic drop off because he left Oklahoma City. And now, like, our market doesn't really respond to Russell Westbrook as much as we'd like them to respond to Russell Westbrook, especially since he's the only player now. So we're hoping that kind of increases a little bit more closer game time. But because KD left Oklahoma City to go to a team that had already sold out our arena completely, basically, it hurt us in the long run. So I, too, do not like Kevin Durant. But seeing him play and seeing like Steph Curry and all of them is like, it's magic. There's like nothing better in sports to me.
One thing that and I'll give you guys a chance to ask questions too after this. One thing that we've talked about with pricing is maximizing revenue versus maximizing butts and seats, right?
Yeah.
And capacity.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, from your perspective, when you're thinking about the pricing, how much does each one of those go into play? Are you just focused on what maximizes revenue, or is there some instances where you'd rather have the people in the seats? How does that work in your role?
Yeah, so like any other business, we are out to make money, right? So 3 years in college, 4 years in college, probably understand that by now. So we do our pricing as if everyone was going to buy at that price and we were going to maximize revenue. And because we have variable pricing and because we have dynamic pricing that we're able to change it and go up and down, we're able to capitalize on dollars like the Kobe game. So the Kobe game was $100, we'll say, and then we increased it to like 180. So we were able to capitalize on 80 times however many people bought, okay? But there is a point where we're like, hey, the arena's looking real empty. That looks really bad on us. At the end of the day, those are two major concerns, and our owners have seats that face the worst part of the arena, for fans, because we have two bare spots that are like basically the corners that they face. So a major concern of ours is filling those seats because we don't want to get flack from our owners. So because we're business and we're like involved in the community and everything, thankfully we have opportunities like Pacers Pals or like the Pacemates dance group or something like that, that we're able to say like, hey guys, here's 2,000 tickets because we're playing Orlando on a Tuesday night and there's 9,000 people coming. Find 4 people each and just get them here, basically. So,
and sit where the owners will see you.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So we'll assign them those exact seats and we'll hope that a lot of them come and then we don't get anything, we don't get anything said to us. But for the lower level is really price maximizing. Because I mean, that's where, if you're gonna spend money in a game, you're gonna spend it in the lower level. We have like courtside seating where you're able to, courtside seating is like the first 7 rows. It's not actually courts, like feet on the floor. But courtside seating, we're able to sell those, and a big incentive is to, you get to come to like our varsity club or our courtside club and have drinks and have food and everything. It's kind of like it's a luxury, I guess. So that's very profit maximizing. We usually don't drop prices there at all, but in the balcony we'll drop prices from like, for Golden State it was like $75, $80 in the balcony, and then for like Atlanta the next game it was like 12. So we'll like increase and decrease dramatically in the balcony, and then we have a club level, which is basically a second deck, and we'll do the same thing there. And so I would say the lower level is definitely more profit maximizing, and balcony is basically get here if you can.
Free for all.
Yeah, yeah, and that's leased out to like a lot of our groups, Pacers Pals, like I mentioned. Sometimes like during the playoffs is really big for us because we have like 3 home games, and we order 18,000 shirts, And I'm part of the crew that puts all the shirts on the seats, and yes, it is as boring as it sounds. It takes about 4 hours. Well, 2 sets of 4 hours. But, so playoffs is it's not as much profit maximizing, because anyone who buys a playoff ticket because they want to sit in the lower level has already bought it, basically. And the balcony is where we struggle for sure. So when we're like, hey, we want everybody to come out just so these shirts don't go to waste, we want a ruckus atmosphere, then they'll give us like 4 seats each. Like they'll give everyone in marketing, everyone in facilities, like 4 seats each, and they'll say like, hey, figure it out, guys, get 4 people here, do what you can, we want this house rocking. So.
Yeah. Questions from you guys? Nothing?
Yeah, what's up?
So like with Kevin Durant going to Golden State, and obviously you can't sell out a sellout, or you're selling more than a sellout. Would you guys sell like standing room only tickets or something to be able to capitalize on having that extra star power?
Yeah, yeah, we'll sell like standing room onlys, but it's never as much. Like at the end of the day, it'll probably be like an extra 20 grand, which when you have like a $1.2 million budget for that game, it's just not enough. It's just not like any. Yeah, it's very little. So it doesn't. It's drop in the bucket basically. But yeah. So I mean, the only thing that would allow us to make any more money on that, actually, is if Kevin Durant didn't play, Steph Curry got hurt, Draymond Green didn't play, and Klay Thompson rested, or something like that, right? So like, let's say none of them played, and then like everyone who has a ticket, so I would say like 75% of the people who had a ticket to that game, if that happened, would resell their ticket. And we would hope that they resell it on Ticketmaster, because then we get a cut of the rev share. So, and that's like a whole bunch of math goes into that, but like we'd be able to make a little bit more money on that, but no one would come. And we'd be playing Golden State and 12,000 people would show up. But which actually did happen for the Cavs this year. So yeah, we were playing the Cavs, and we were eating dinner, and like 4 o'clock, and then comes across Twitter that LeBron James is resting because he had like 30 points against Toronto and wants a day off. And LeBron sits like every year against us, at least one game, and like our fans just didn't respond to that at all. So Cleveland is a major player for us. LeBron is a major player for us. So we had already sold like 17,500 seats or so. Only 12,000 people showed up. Yeah. So they either tried to resell or they just didn't want to come just because LeBron wasn't playing. So, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler, go ahead.
You're talking, so OKC is probably your lower tier now? Like selling wise, because KD left, right?
Yeah.
So if Westbrook's still averaging like a triple-double when they come to play you guys, do you think that'll have an effect on ticket prices?
I do. Yeah, I don't think it'll increase as much at all, because even though KD left, it probably dropped from like our 3rd best game or 4th best game to like maybe our like 11th best game or something like that. So it wasn't like a complete drop off, but that just shows you how like the rest of the league is for us, is because like if you don't have a major player on your team, it's an average game. And then if you come, let's see, Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets don't really have like a major player in our market, and they only come once, so our market doesn't really respond to them at all. They would drop tremendously. So like if KD was on the Nuggets, it would be like 4th, 5th best game, and then when he left, it would be like the 29th best game. So I hope that Westbrook is still averaging a triple-double, because anytime ESPN like covers a hot player or oh yeah, so hopefully we'll have a little bit. I think where our sales there will be from like a day or two before and then walk-up sales. So we might increase by like 50 grand or something.
Any other questions?
You said 27 teams had like an analytic.
I think so, yeah.
Don't? Do you know which ones do not have it?
Last time I heard, I don't think the Lakers did, just because like you don't really need one in LA. Like that brand, and then their market it's like ever flowing with season ticket holders, and there's like a wait list, yeah, and all that stuff. So I know that we only have said like 1.1, but usually teams have around 3 or 4. Portland's got a really good department. Orlando has a really good department.
I knew Portland did.
Yeah. So and they're always like leading innovations.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah.
Do you know of other teams that just have one like you?
No, I'm actually the only.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
actually the only team who has one. Yeah. So they're like the other teams are. They'll have an analytics department, but it'll be like new sales analytics, renewal analytics, consumer behavior analyst. You know, so it'll be like just whatever they can put a number towards in sales, they'll throw on one team. So it'll be 3 or 4 people who like know what consumers think and handle renewals and handle new sales and lead scoring and all that. Whereas I kind of do everything. So, and if you can't specialize, you're kind of at a disadvantage, I think. But yeah, it's one thing.
But it's also a little bit of an advantage for you too, because you learn about all of those things,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
as you move forward, you can decide maybe where you want to specialize as either more people get hired at the Pacers, or if you decide to go somewhere else, right? So-
Definitely. Yeah.
Any other questions before he leaves? Yeah, go ahead.
You talked about you hope like on a game like if Golden State, everyone's sitting basically.
Yeah.
And you wanted to resell on Ticketmaster, if like for StubHub or Aviator, all the other ones, do you not get a cut on those ones only on Ticketmaster, or?
Right. So each team has an agreement with a reseller, I think. So usually it's StubHub or Ticketmaster, and I can't really remember who's with who, but I know we're with Ticketmaster. So we encourage all of our season ticket holders, if you're not going to come to a game, please sell it on Ticketmaster. Because we get a cut. But so like, and we don't like get any information on that StubHub sale, so we don't know how much you sold it for, or who you sold it to, or whatever, like all that stuff. And right now, like with finding new business, it's all about finding new people, right? You can hit the same 44-year-old male living in Bloomington with the exact same direct mailer 14 times. If he's not going to come to a game, he's not going to come to a game, right? So I want like a larger population where I can pick from, and I can see like, hey, maybe this person shows the demographics similar to who our season ticket holders are, so we can then target them and try to sell to them. So one way we do that is through Ticketmaster, because every time like you sell something on, if you resell your ticket, like we have that information, basically.
Anything else? All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Nice meeting you.